Right now, you can't open your phone without someone promising that AI is a money-printing machine. But let's be honest, 99% of those claims are complete distractions from what's actually working in 2026. You don't need a team of engineers, you don't need to know how to code, and you definitely don't need millions in venture capital to participate. On the left, traditional tech startups demand funding, coding, and months before seeing clients. On the right, the AI integrator model requires zero funding, no code tools, and pre-selling. It's essentially a B2B agency wrapping off-the-shelf AI tools around boring analog business problems. The dilemma is figuring out which of the thousands of AI applications actually generate a viable return on investment, and which ones are just expensive toys. So we are going to strip away the hype. We're breaking down the 5 most viable AI models available right now and examining their true operational trade-offs. We aren't evaluating the software. We are evaluating what these models demand from you personally, your tolerance for rejection, your capacity for operations, and your existing relationships. Success in this economy has nothing to do with the technology you build. It comes down entirely to the specific, expensive headaches you are willing to cure for a business owner. This chart maps out our operational matrix. The vertical axis shows the client's lifetime value, and the horizontal axis shows your friction to fulfill the service. Let's start with the most aggressive sales models. AI appointment setting and sales chatbots land here in the high lifetime value, medium friction quadrant. Local businesses lose money every single day because they cannot follow up with inbound leads fast enough. Getting these clients requires serious input. You are configuring voice or text agents, and then you are aggressively cold calling dentists, gyms, and med spas to pitch your system. Once installed, the system takes over. The AI answers the phone, qualifies the lead naturally, and books the appointment, usually faster and cheaper than a human receptionist. Because you are directly driving booked appointments and measurable revenue, business owners gladly pay $2,000 to $10,000 a month to keep your system running. But here is the major trade-off. The technical setup for these bots is highly commoditized. Anyone with an internet connection can replicate your software stack in an afternoon. If your pitch relies entirely on the AI itself, your client will drop you the second they find a cheaper integrator. Your actual competitive advantage in these models is your resilience. You survive by out-hustling the competition through high-volume cold sales, not by writing better code. Let's look at the media side. The content repurposing model sits down here, where both lifetime value and friction are relatively low. The required input is straightforward. You take a client's long-form content, long podcast episodes, training webinar videos, or raw Zoom recordings, and feed it into automated AI clipping tools. The outcome is dozens of short-form social media assets generated with practically zero effort required from your client. Companies pay for this service because attention is their most valuable currency, and dominating short-form platforms is how they capture it. The critical trade-off is the lack of friction. Because the barrier to entry barely exists, the market is completely flooded with competing freelancers. To survive shrinking margins in this space, you have to scale your client volume aggressively.
That means managing a massive pipeline of media assets and risking severe operational burnout. Now we move to the top tier available to AI integrators. Data cleanup and executive assistance land in the extreme upper right quadrant. This requires heavy lifting. You are auditing messy, scattered internal systems like CRMs and inboxes and layering AI directly over proprietary company data. You deliver instant business intelligence, massive time savings, and a drastic reduction in an executive's daily decision fatigue. Because this targets the C-suite directly and solves complex logistical headaches, it commands the highest premium pricing and the longest retainers in the market. But the trade-off is steep. This model requires deep, pre-existing professional networks because executives do not hand sensitive internal data over to strangers. You cannot cold email your way into a CEO's private operations. The real product you are selling here is trust. The AI is merely the delivery mechanism. Regardless of which model you choose, there is a strict methodology required to safely launch and survive your first 90 days. Most founders make the fatal mistake of building a complex system first and trying to sell it later. The AI integrator does the exact opposite. You validate the demand first. You pitch a simple offer to a highly specific niche before you write a single line of automation logic. You test the market using nothing more than a simple pitch deck and a basic payment link. If they pay, you know the problem is real. The trade-off to this approach is that securing revenue first creates immediate pressure. You have to fulfill the promise manually while you scramble to build out the automation. That intense pressure is a protective mechanism. Choosing momentum over perfection prevents you from wasting months building AI solutions for problems no one actually wants to buy. This decision tree matches personal constraints to the right business model. The first question to answer: what is your primary constraint? If you lack a professional network and capital, you follow the left path. You must rely entirely on your core skills. If you choose the sales path, you target appointment setting and chatbots. You must accept that handling rejection and making outbound cold calls is now your full-time job. If you choose the operations path and target content repurposing, you need to prepare for a relentless, high-volume grind to maintain your profitability. If you are a seasoned professional or agency owner, you follow the right path. Viewers with existing B2B relationships should ignore the low-ticket volume models completely. You use your social capital to secure premium, high-trust retainers. Let's strip away the final layer of technical delusion right now. Traditional businesses do not care about artificial intelligence. They only care about cutting costs, saving time, or increasing efficiency. An AI model can process vast amounts of data in seconds, but it cannot validate a market offer, and it cannot close a hesitant client. Your first few client calls are going to be rough. Your first system integrations will be messy and difficult to manage. The people who actually pull serious revenue from this economy are the ones willing to do the outreach, fail on the pitch, and improve their offers rapidly. AI has completely democratized the ability to solve complex problems, but generating revenue still relies entirely on your human hustle and your willingness to act.